On my last film, I worked with Anne Hathaway and we had a lot of make-out scenes. Oftentimes, our intimacy coordinator would come in and give us a Listerine strip. And we used them so much that Annie was kind enough to commission a painting of Listerine strips for me, and now I have that hanging up in my apartment, and I think about that movie every single time I see them.
This has happened to me a couple times where I've worked with someone just before I'm like, oh, you're about to become really, really big.
Yeah.
And so Nick kept having to tell people how to pronounce his last name. Now we know it's Galitzine. And so one day someone's like, so it's Nick Gala, and I'm like, Galitzine, like magazine. And he goes, oh my God, I've been alive this long and it's never occurred to me
to use that.
And then I came up with a song, which was Nick Galitzine, Nick Galitzine. He's
everybody
got a
gets
face
it.
for a magazine, but he's more than just a beauty queen. Can't wait to hear everybody scream for Nick Galitzine.
You have a whole rap. You have a whole rap to teach
We became
people.
really good friends on this
Yeah.
one. Really good friends.
Can I tell you?
How nervous was it singing in front of Anne Hathaway?
I mean, that was definitely nerve-wracking, but I would say it was less nerve-wracking than having to convince her to dance, because, you know, at least I had my guitar, and Annie reminded me of this the other day, but I'd actually, there was a song that was suggested that I prepare, which I kind of vetoed because I didn't think it actually served the character and who he was as an artist. And I think that actually really helped me make an impression, because I think it let them know that I had a sort of deeper understanding, I think, of who it was. And that one really, it went over so well. And so much so, you know, I remember Annie kind of singing along with me, and a few of the people in the audition room just kind of vibing with it, which was cool. But then, yeah, the dance was so daunting as well, because I brought Always Alright by Alabama Shakes, which I think is just really fun. And I just remember putting out some like horrible dance moves, which kind of was the point. It was like, let's have that youthful, loving energy together. And then I think we also redid the dance again with Dance All Days, which obviously ended up in the movie as well. But I mean, honestly, Mark, like, I don't think I've ever been as present in an audition as I was in that one. I mean, it was truly one of those remarkable times where you don't expect you're going to have that much chemistry with someone, and leaving the audition hall, I was thinking to myself, you know, God, I really, really want this, but if I don't get it, I'm so proud of myself, because oftentimes those rooms are just terrifying. You know, it's so not human, and not conducive to creativity, and I felt like I'd kind of gotten past it all, which was, you know, obviously then to get the call the next day and they wanted me, which is...
Can I jump in?
Yeah, okay, please.
Nick's an amazing actor, and he's a really charismatic one as well. And there's a lot of romantic roles written for young men this age, and Nick's a brilliant actor who keeps getting cast in them. And so I think that, you know, as your career unfolds, we're going to see a lot of more colors from you. And right now, I think you're just a little hunk dominant. But as you wither...
Oh, wait, I can turn into dust.
Yes, no, you, absolutely. But I remain eternal, evergreen. No, I think the most exciting thing is just like watching somebody who's, you know, you've been acting for a while now, but and so it's really exciting to see like things coming together for you, and I suppose it's a je ne sais quoi.
Speaking of that, Anne is supposed to be here. Are you looking forward to seeing her?
Is she?
Rumor has it.
Oh, well, if she is here, then that's the first I've heard of it, because I thought she was filming. She's very hardworking, Annie. But if she is here, then I'll enjoy catching up with her.
Birthday is September 29th. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the Zodiac?
I feel great about the Zodiac, actually.
Do you feel like you're
you're
a Libra?
I feel...
Do you feel very Libra?
Look, I won't lie and say that I am incredibly incredibly fluent in astrology, but from everything I've been told, Libra is quite fitting for me.
Something that I think is very important that we have in common is that we were both born the year of the dog, but in two different cycles.
Yes.
And so I was reading about that recently, and I read about your cycle in the year of the dog, and it's so positive, and mine is like selfish. And I was like, all right. I mean, there's also good stuff there too, but yours did not have selfish. And I was like, and I just remember reading about it, being like, yeah, that kind of fits.
Do you think of yourself, if you were an animal, do you think you would be a dog?
I'm a Labrador.
I feel like I'm a Labrador as well. Maybe that's why we get on so well. And it's a lovely photo of me and Annie at the South by premiere, which was a lot of fun, and we had some amazing fans.
I met with amazing actors for this role, and Nick kind of had the part from the second he just walked in. He was just it. He was everything we needed. We needed such a specific talent for this. Like, the movie needed it. He needed to be able to sing, act, dance. He needed to be charming. You needed to, we're so lucky that Nick Galitzine is here.
I'm so grateful for that, because I think Annie and I just have a natural chemistry with each other. We're just very good at like having fun with each other, I think.
I love when she just said, and the cookie plate.
Exactly. It was so funny. He just let us kind of go with that, and she's such a good improviser as well. I kind of didn't know that before our chemistry test, and then we ended up doing this. It's like a 7-8 page scene where we just went completely off script at one point, and we're really like just vibing with each other. I think people don't know. I mean, they obviously know she's an incredible dramatic actor, but they don't know how funny she is as well. She's really funny.
But I mean, who is it? Admittedly, I haven't watched the latter ones, which I probably should do now. Sorry, Annie.
Shut up!
But the first one is, I mean, iconic. We as a cast and crew would quote a lot of Devil Wears Prada at her, because there's a lot of great lines in that too. But no, I respect Annie enough to not just throw her own lines at her throughout the day.
And we'll see what happens when we dance. And we just explored it together. And it was really interesting to discover that, because there were certain people that they aced the readings, but we had no chemistry when we were dancing. And I mentioned before, like, the yes and of it all. Nick and I are very yes and together. Just kind of builds. It was so much fun. We had so much fun working on this. And he's somebody who's very easy to kind of like spark with.
Right.
Like, just who he is as a person. So, which is exactly what you want from Hazen Solan.
This is how narcissistic I am. This is a screenshot of Anne Hathaway complimenting me in an interview. She was really nice about me.
Also, we have similar taste in art, and you make both of us laugh.
Oh, I like that.
Wasn't that one nice?
That was nice. That was really nice.
Okay.
Liar.
The proof's on the tape. I've been laughing the whole time. I'm sorry. I win.
I think we don't realize how not ready we are for the idea of you, Nicholas Galitzine, Anne Hathaway in capitals, which is the right way to write her name.
What is the key to good chemistry on set? Keep it fun. Keep it fun. I think nobody likes a tense atmosphere. And so I think by just keeping it playful, keeping it fun, doing the work, and treating everybody with respect. I don't know, it helps to work with Nick Galitzine. He brings a lot of charisma to the table.
There's something else cooking,
yeah.
So the idea of you, if I'm not mistaken, can you give us a little bit like insight on that?
Yeah, it's a story, it's a love story, unconventional love story between a 40-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man. It's me and Anne Hathaway, who I've been a fan of for a very, very long time. She's just a beautiful person inside and out, and I think it's going to be a really interesting, unique version of a love story that we haven't really seen before, so I'm really excited for audiences to see that.
And Anne Hathaway is a style icon. Today you're at Fendi, so is it like...
You know, if they decide to do a second Devil Wears Prada, I will be the assistant. I will run the coffee around.
But what you don't know, Nick, is I was in Devil Wears Prada.
You wait, what?
I am in Devil Wears Prada.
Wait, which? Hold on. I need to go back and watch. Are you on camera?
Don't blink. Don't blink. I'm on camera.
I had Julianne Moore here, and she did Mary and George.
Queen.
And I love, but that is a very different character that he's playing.
Yeah.
So he went from that character, and if you've seen Mary and George, and then you watch this, it could not be more different.
He's got range.
Yes,
versatile.
yes. So I was
flexible.
like, is that the same kid?
Any tea you can spill on working with Anne Hathaway?
She is one of the most talented people I've ever worked with in my life. Her ability to access emotion and our chemistry, I think, was just really, really, really special.
And then the last person to come in, all 6 foot whatever of him, was Nick Galitzine.
He was really the last one?
He was the actual, I know, it doesn't seem like it could be real. Like, no, you guys just agreed that backstage, right? No, he was the last one, and he walked in, and I burst out laughing because I thought we were gonna get close, but a part of me was wondering if we were gonna find everything. And he walked in, and it was Hayes Campbell. And the wonderful thing has been now that was in the summer of 2022. So I guess Nick and I have become friends over the course of 2 years. And we started the scene, and I don't know, it was like acting with someone, it was like finding a dance partner. And you just kind of knew each other's instincts, but you were still really surprised. And you felt yourself really held, but really free at the same time. And Nick's got a lot of talents, but one of them is listening. And he's wonderful to do a scene with because he can volley, but he can also receive. And then he sang, and then he pulled out his guitar and he played. And then we did a dance improv, and we were giggling through it. Like, we were actually having fun. And that was what I realized at the end. It didn't feel like an hour and a half. It didn't feel like an hour and a half of an actor coming into an audition, and isn't that awful? It just felt like, oh, this is the team. We have the team. Our final teammate has arrived.
It's sort of everyone's fantasy to be swept off their feet by a boy band member or a pop star. Or is that just me?
Well, I mean, I had the wonderful situation of being swept off my feet by Anne Hathaway, which
you did.
Which is, you know, a lot of people's dreams as well.
Yeah.
So
Nick is just one of those crazy talented people. He can act, he can dance, he can play any instrument he picks up. And so he's just a lovely guy to be around. So anyway, so he sat down, he was just playing the piano so beautifully, take after take after take. And so, yeah, just a really beautiful memory of that song.
I'm passing the phone to someone whose dream is to be in Devil Wears Prada 2 with Annie and Emily.
I am passing the phone.
Who do you feel you've had the best chemistry with on set?
I would probably have to say Anne, because there was one part of the audition which was an improvised dance scene where I had to basically convince her to get up and dance with me. I think we felt like we could really, really trust each other and go to you know, the deepest places of what those scenes can be.
I worry about like other people and the way the press can be opportunistic, because I can have a perfectly lovely, respectful conversation with you, and then to have something that is real and meaningful and personal, and to like watch it get filtered through all the different levels of media until it like arrives at the tabloid version. It just kind of makes you never want to say anything that could be, I'm going to use a big word, and it's probably an unwise word to use, but that can be weaponized against the actor. Like, I have like this awesome story about Nick that I want to tell, and it's like on the tip of my tongue right now, but I don't want to tell it because I haven't asked him if it's cool.
You're a co-star in the film, yeah.
Yes. And I'm just aware that he'd have to answer questions about it for the next 3 months to 30 years.
Got another picture in here, me and the great Anne Hathaway, who I starred in The Idea of You with. I had this amazing co-star who I felt like I had so much chemistry with, and I was such a fan of her work for a really long time. So to be able to actually work with her and also experience what a lovely, kind, generous person she is, and you know, really make her a close friend out of this movie was such a gift, and I have a lot of love for her. There's me and Annie here, right? That's how important she is she stays in frame the entire interview.
I know that the chemistry read story between Anne and Nick is kind of become a little famous when talking about this movie, but what do you all remember about being in that audition room and kind of knowing, all right, this could really work?
In the audition for me, it was he sang a song, because we had them singing a song, and his guitar playing was excellent, his singing voice was excellent, but more than anything, it was his performance of the song. He was really serenading Anne. You know, the other guys were kind of singing to all of us. He was singing right to Anne. Yeah. And it was like, you know, do you want us to leave? Like, should we leave? You know, it's that kind of an energy, but you could just feel it. And then I didn't say anything. I told Kathy how I felt, but I didn't tell Anne how I felt because I didn't want Anne to feel any pressure, and she was like, well, it's obviously got to be that guy. And we were like, really? You liked him? Okay, sure, we'll do him.
I'm interviewing Anne Hathaway next week.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So yeah, don't know if you have a message for her. Like,
send my regards for her. I mean, I'm seeing her in I'm talking about Anne Hathaway. Can you get out of the way, please?
Sorry, Anne.
She's a much better co-star than he is. I'll tell you that much.
Much better kisser.
That's 100% true. I mean, I'm going to see her in a few weeks at South by because we've got our movie closing the festival there, and we're really excited about it. And she's incredible in it as well. So yeah.
Baby, rest your head on my shoulder before it gets a little bit colder. I want to get closer to you.
Hey, I had Anne Hathaway on the show actually a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, she was chatting about that movie she's in, Mother's Instinct. I don't know if you've seen it. It's
I haven't yet,
it's
but
brilliant.
I'm so excited. I mean, she only does impeccable work.
Yeah,
hell yeah. I mean, we'll go on tour. Do you want to join the band?
I think you guys are really good.
But see, you could be the sort of the main attraction. We'll be kind of like almost barbershopping in like the background.
Oh, that's very generous. No, but I think you're good enough. You don't need me.
We want you.
You can be the road manager. How about that?
Yes, I just want to have all the control. I'll produce it.
I will say thanks for clearing up that it wasn't a Milli Vanilli situation. Thanks for saying that.
He had to sing in the audition, and not only could he sing, he brought his own guitar. And he was just absolutely. What song? And there was an audition song that we were like, if you guys could prepare this, he's like, I have a different song.
Yeah,
he said it with that kind of
with that nonchalance.
Yeah.
You're
gonna listen to me sing this.
I actually completely forgot about that, and I remember the song that was chosen. I feel to not necessarily represent the artistry of what Hayes wanted to be.
There he goes.
Sorry.
So you owned that part from the very beginning, which is great. That's exactly what you want to hear an actor say.
Thank you.
And we need to talk about Anne because
We do. We always need to talk about Anne. I think she's just so capable of doing both the dramatic and the comedic and the emotional in such a fantastic way. And I think those are things that very much resonate with me as a performer and what I find really interesting to perform. And so being able to portray the light and the shade, I think is incredible to watch.
you were perfect like mirrors of each other. It was peaceful.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Remind me of the actor who plays the lead singer.
Nick Galitzine.
Oh man, you guys have great chemistry. Did you know when he was auditioning, you go, oh, this is the guy?
Oh yeah.
The show that you
what's it
did
called?
one day.
Oh, well done.
I had to really memorize that one. One day, which is, I suppose you could say, like a remake of the movie that one of my co-stars, Anne Hathaway,
your new friend.
did. Yeah, my new friend.
Your
my
new
new
friend.
mate. Feels weird to say. A really fun fact, Anne Hathaway is a massive Arsenal supporter as well.
Yeah,
I'm in a group chat with her family who are all Arsenal supporters.
They all watch football.
Obsessed. There you go.
I was just talking to Anne and Nick about that chemistry test with them dancing. So what was it about that moment with them dancing that said to you, this is it, this is the couple, this is the chemistry?
Actually for me, it was a different moment on the same day, which was when Nick sang a song. Nick played a song on his guitar and sang it for us. And we were all watching him, but he was kind of singing it just for her.
Yeah.
And it was really there that I felt there was some real romantic energy going on.
That evening, basically, like, I want to say it was like 4 bags full of Greek food is dropped off at my hotel room, and they said, this is from Annie, she wanted you to eat good tonight. And I think that's just a very accurate insight into who she is as a person. She's very caring, and I ate very well that evening, it's fair to say.
The banter was very, very fun. We hit it off. We hit it off. We're both playful people. And Nick is just such a great person to have on set. He's a steady Eddie, but totally passionate at the same time. Sorry, that was my heart. And he's quick to laugh. So it's just and intelligent and talented, and I mean it was just really, really a pleasure doing this film together.
It's pretty cool. You're here on this farm.
Thank you. It's my first Met, so I'm excited to be here.
Did Anne help you wrap your mind around what was going to happen?
She gave me a pep talk this morning. Just said enjoy it.
I mean, Anne Hathaway did just say that you could have
chemistry with a lamp, which I guess
It's
could
true.
pass by
It
here.
is true. Within a lot of vibes. To be candid, Annie was on my bucket list of people that I wanted to work. Yeah.
I didn't know that. No.
Because
You're
look,
just saying that.
no,
'cause we're
I
talking to Out
actually
magazine.
swear on my life. I think it's because it's because you perfectly encapsulate what I want to be as an actor, which is someone who has an extremely versatile career, who's able to kind of do the comedy, do the drama, do you know, play within the genres, and I think that you know, that's kind of what her performance is like in the film itself. I mean, there are moments of incredible levity and you know, heartbreaking drama, and so, you know, the image of Annie and what she would be to work with was very much realized on this project.
Say very much so. All hail Queen Anne.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
thank you very much. I feel very unworthy. Thank you. I mean, Nick walked in the room. I have to say, he brought so much charisma to the table, a vulnerability as well as a swagger, and that was really important for it. And I just, after I met him, I just thought, oh, please be able to act, please be able to sing, and he could do both of those things beyond our wildest dreams.
I mean, it's so funny because I feel like we've spoken about this so much, so I just want to say.
What do you want to say?
Horrible things to you,
I
but
know!
I can't.
I
My
know!
Britishisms just goes, this is too sincere. I can't handle it.
Thankfully, it was easy. And, you know, it's kind of weird to have it be a part of your profession to be like, hey, get on with somebody. But we did. And I genuinely care about Nick, and I'm rooting for him so much, you know, in his life. And I'm really happy that we're friends. And yeah, I don't know. We just had really compatible energies.
Yeah, it's because it's not always the
similar
case.
Work ethics.
It's similar work ethics, but it's not always the case that, you know, you meet someone, especially that you have to portray like a romantic relationship with, and you really kind of spark. But I feel like I'll always remember those kind of early like feelings out, you know, sending the voice messages to each other, and then that like crazy first day. I think after the first day we were definitely like bonded.
You couldn't have designed like that first day was either going to work or it wasn't. It was 20 hours. We were in bathing suits. We had to jump into freezing cold water. We had to make out on a beach.
Yeah.
Then we had to get clothed again. Then go like make a river in Savannah look like we were in Italy.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, she's a massive nerd, and I say that in like the best way possible because we are both kind of nerdy people. She's, I think, one of the most intelligent people I've ever met as well. She's such a reader. She's always got a book in her hand. She supports the same football club as I do, which I love. She cares so much about her work and her characters. I mean, it was just a joy. I'd been a fan of her work for a really long time, and she was very much on my bucket list of people that I wanted to work with. And the next day, knowing that I'm a very proud Greek, she ordered me like all of the Greek food. And I just stuffed my face, and I was like, this woman will forever, I will show up to anything whenever Annie needs me for that, because of that one moment.
Does that have anything to do with the tease you've been leaving everybody with on social media?
This does not have to do with the tease. Okay. The tease is something, what I would say, it's something acting related that I'm here in New York for, that I'm just so excited to tell anyone this. I've been given the sort of the gag order, which to be fair, what I will say is I bumped into two lovely young women last night who were asking me what I was doing next, and I have told these two strangers this next secret that I will be doing. So there are two strangers in the world who know what it is, but no, that news should be out next week. I'm incredibly excited. It's a huge step, and yeah, it's just I'm just very lucky right now, and yeah, that's That's all I have to say on that.
Well, lucky, but you.
I hope that you both do a musical together because you both have really great singing voices. So
I
like,
hadn't even
let's.
thought about that, and that's
Oh my-
such a fun idea.
Yes.
I've already signed whatever.
Oh my God.
Love it, yes.
Was that just your natural chemistry?
Why don't you guys answer that?
Me? Well, we had a wonderful chemistry test, which, you know, on the outset can be very intimidating, but someone came up with this idea that the actors doing this chemistry test should bring a song that they wanted to use essentially to convince Selene to get up and dance with them. And again, for someone like me who is not a dancer, this was incredibly intimidating. But in all seriousness, I remember these rooms, you know, for actors, I think can be extremely intimidating at times and extremely unnatural in a lot of ways. But there was something very almost spiritual, I think, that kind of happened there, whereby I felt this immediate connection to Annie, and we had a simpatico and a shared sense of humor, and it was just very easy. And I remember leaving that room thinking, you know, regardless of what happens with this, I am so proud of this like special thing that happened there. And they gave me the call the next day, and they said, "We want you to be a part of this movie." And honestly, that first day on set, it was there. It was just there. You should talk about our first day on set, though.
So our first day of set was Europe. And I mean that literally, we shot everything that was exterior in Europe in a single day. It was like 20 hours, and it was a bonding ritual.
We
It was
weren't in
great.
Europe,
we had
by
to,
the way.
And I mean,
That
it was like fine.
Atlanta as Europe and 30 degrees.
Yes, and thank you, detailed producer. And I have to say, actually, like Nick and I were talking before that. We were texting. We were leaving each other like voice memos. We were asking each other what your last meal would be, like all the things, and you know, and. But that first day, like there was a moment where we had to jump into freezing cold water and pretend like it was like the most sensual Mediterranean bath and all that stuff. And Nick and I had to jump into the freezing cold water, and once we both got in there, we just looked at each other and we were like, we are doing this. And we're like, okay, we're both shivering, but we gotta make this super sexy. And we like found our shivery sexiness together, and at one point we just looked at each other and we were holding on to each other for dear life and warmth. And I don't know, but from that moment on, and like from that moment to like the last moment, 20 some odd hours later, I just looked and I was like, I am in good hands on this one. I've got a great partner. We could not have landed better, and I still feel that way.
Okay, so because